Hey everyone, just wanted to touch base about the Module 4 assignment. This is going to be a fun one. You're going to get to work with some primary sources from 1819 and 1820 regarding the Missouri question and what will become the Missouri Compromise. So I just wanted to kind of go over some of the things that we're going to be doing. This is going to focus, it's going to have a North Carolina spin to it. So we're trying to bring in a little North Carolina history. And we're really going to be focusing on practicing history and working with primary source documents and helping build your analysis. So the neat part about this is that this isn't just like, oh, let's go to the internet and find what someone else said. We're really going to look at the sources and try to develop our own perspective. So let's start real quick with the assignment. You're going to be writing an essay on how North Carolina senators regarded what was called the Missouri question. And that is, as Missouri was applying for statehood, many people were interested in would that state be a slave state or a free state. At the time, there was a balance in the Senate, a balance of power between free states and slave states. So, what really is this could tip the scales in many ways for uh, what interests would have a little edge in the Senate. Now, spoiler alert: what happens is Maine will come in at the same time. Maine comes in as a free state. Missouri will come in as a slave state, and they will find a way to preserve that balance momentarily. But it continues to reveal an important question. That is, as um, states and continue as America expands and states continue to come into the fold, what will these states be like? Will they um, tend to resemble those of the southern agricultural slave states, or will there be different models of individual freedom, free labor that resemble more of kind of the northern market economy model? So these are all, there's a lot of things going on in this module. We've talked a lot about expansion so far. So let's dive in and see how we're going to handle this question. What we're going to really be interested in is how did North Carolina senators regard this question? Right? We got two senators we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at some speeches from them. So you're going to write an essay, and it's going to explain this: is what was the Missouri question, and why was it important to North Carolinians, and how did the senators Nathaniel Macon and Montford Stokes, how did their positions, what were their positions regarding this issue? How did they differ? Were there any similarities and overlap? And hopefully you can get a better understanding of how some opinions in North Carolina were about westward expansion, and kind of that vision of America. So what we're going to do, or what you're going to need, what I suggest doing, is start with your textbook, right? Let me see, make sure I can pull it up. What I would do is this. Hopefully, this works. Yes. All right, go to chapter 11, 11.2. Look, it talks about the Missouri crisis right here. This is going to give you a nice overview. Important part about this Talmadge Amendment, right? So you're going to start getting an idea about the Missouri question with your discussion in your textbook. But then we're going to pop over, or what I hope you would do, which you'll need to do, is spend some time. I added these real late right here: Nathaniel Macon biography, Montford Stokes biography. These are very short from the North Carolina website, North Carolina history, like biography site. So you could, if you want an idea of some of these guys. In fact, Montford Stokes was an appointed senator. He wasn't even elected because someone had to resign. Um, but so what we're going to do now is, after you kind of get an idea of what the Missouri question is, and really all of this continues to go back to many things that we've talked about in this lesson so far, this module, is what will America look like as it continues to expand, right? Everything's growing at this time, right? The economy's growing, cotton's growing, literally growing. Slavery is actually growing, even though many people thought it was kind of on a downward spiral prior to the invention of the cotton gin. But now the question is, you also have these anti-slavery sentiments that are growing alongside of this at the same time. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to download each of these. Now, these are actual documents. These are actual clippings from the newspaper, right? Now, this is going to be the easiest one for you guys to read. This is the first two are going to deal with the actual Missouri question, right? So what you'll need to do is download these probably, but you're going to have to be able to zoom in. And this is what historians have to deal with, right? And this is what we do is we spend a lot of time in very difficult to read documents, right? And trying to figure out these things. So these first two documents are going to deal with the Missouri question itself, right? And then here is the money makers right here when it comes to Senator Makin's position is right here in this issue. They highlight a speech he gave, and like this is the conclusion of his speech in the debate of the Senate about this issue, right? And so, look, this speech goes on right here. It's a very important one, right? Like he is taking the lead on this in many ways for North Carolina, right? He is the elder senator of the two, right? His speech, this is the entire thing right here. It also flows over onto the following page, right? Where is that you can continue. Now, again, you're going to have to zoom in and you're going to have to really carefully go through this stuff, right? And his speech will continue here. Now, look, this is where Montford Stokes' position comes in, right? This is his position on this issue. It goes down this column. You're going to scroll back up here. It's a much shorter position, right? But interesting is if you look, and we might have even found something to show you how I guess the complexity of history as we go forward, guys, is that's what I want you to know about is if you look at this right here, interesting, if you look at his bio right here, it says, I saw it here, no, not Macon, it's under Montford Stokes one. Let's see if we can find that. Where did it go? This is an interesting, wrong one. Wrong one. This is really interesting right here is, and this shows you kind of like, hey, I wonder if we delve deeper into this, what kind of further things will we find right here is, it says, where is he up here? Before, right here. He broke with Senator Macon over the Missouri Compromise in 1820. He wrote Governor John Branch that he would join any constitutional movement to abolish slavery. In 1823, the Assembly replaced Stokes with Branch in Washington. So this misleading would be my question, right? Because when you look at his position now, it is true. It's true is that he did hold a different position than Macon, but was it clearly an anti-slavery position? I hope that you guys find some insight into that as you read these documents. So, big module. Start with the textbook. What you're going to do is continue to use the same things that we've been doing throughout the semester, right? Remember the important components of an introduction. There's 3 components of an introduction: the lead, the thesis, the method statement. Go to the internet course tutorial. There's a lot of materials there and videos too that not many students have watched. And then we're going to be using source material to build historical arguments, support that throughout. And in this case, you're going to be asking, what was the Missouri question? Why did it relate to North Carolina? And how did North Carolina's senators believe that politically the nation should progress on this? I hope this video was helpful. I've been enjoying a lot of the work that's been put forward. Continue to roll up your sleeves, work hard towards the end of the semester. We've got a little less than a month to go, but we're knee deep in it. And right now, you're knee deep in history. Email me if you have any questions.